Here, we'll solve another quadratic equation without factoring. In this example, we'll find the solutions to the equation x minus 1 all squared minus 12 equals 0. In this example, to solve for x, we have to undo three things, which is more than what we looked at before. The operations that are happening to x are first we subtract 1, then we square it, and then we subtract 12. So like we learned from Frog and Toad, if we want to undo these operations, we will undo them in the opposite order. First we undo subtracting 12 by adding 12, then we undo squaring by taking the square root, and finally we'll undo subtracting 1 by adding 1. So we will start by adding 12 to both sides to get x minus 1 squared minus 12 plus 12 equals 0 plus 12, which is 12. And on the left, negative 12 plus 12 is just 0, so we have x minus 1 squared, leaving us with the equation x minus 1 squared equals 12. Next, we need to take the square root of each side to undo the squaring. This gives us the square root of x minus 1 squared equals the square root of 12. The square root of 12 is not an integer, it's just the square root of 12, so we'll leave it at that. On the left-hand side, we have the square root of x minus 1 squared, which is the absolute value of x minus 1. If you need to be reminded why this is not just x minus 1, you can click the purple link now. And since the absolute value of x minus 1 equals the square root of 12, that means that x minus 1 either equals the square root of 12 or x minus 1 equals the negative of the square root of 12. Now, even though things have gotten messy, what we need to do to solve x is to undo subtracting 1. So finally, we need to add 1 to both sides of each equation to get x minus 1 plus 1 equals 1 plus the square root of 12 in the first equation, or x minus 1 plus 1 equals 1 minus the square root of 12 in the second equation. For both of them, negative 1 plus 1 is just 0, so the left-hand side simplifies to x. So our two solutions are x equals 1 plus the square root of 12, or x equals 1 minus the square root of 12. It's worth pointing out that we could have consolidated this into one line. We could have said that x minus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 12. In this case, we would still add 1 to both sides of our equation and get x minus 1 plus 1 equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 12. And even though things are messy, minus 1 plus 1 is just 0, so the left is just x, leaving us with the solutions x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 12. Both of these ways are perfectly fine in showing what our solutions are. Either way, we can conclude that the solutions of x minus 1 squared minus 12 equals 0 are x equals 1 plus the square root of 12 and 1 minus the square root of 12.